In this video, I'm going to showcase you a run of mine in a Master League format where everything is allowed. This is hosted by Arena Legendaria, and this was not just a regular Show 6 or Go Battle League format, this was a Show 8 Protect 2 Ban 2 format. And it actually worked really well for what I thought was going to be kind of a rough meta if you allow pretty much everything, including Primal Pokemon. So how does this work? This is my team of 8, and every time before I play an opponent, I can choose 2 Pokemon to protect, so that my opponent cannot ban, and then after we both put in our protects, we can enter the bans, and those will only be visible when we both have entered the bans. Now you might think, oh, that's an easy Zamazenta Groudon protect because those are overpowered. No, there are some restrictions and Pokemon you cannot protect to make it a little bit balanced. So these are the Pokemon that you could not protect. That means that your opponent can basically always ban these. And you can also not have the same dex number on your team. So you could not have 2 Kyurem, for example. You cannot have multiple Mega Pokemon slash Primal. So you cannot have like Primal Groudon plus Mega Salamence on your team. And I actually made a huge oversight with this because there are some ridiculously good Mega Pokemon that you could actually protect, and I went for Groudon and Zamazenta instead. Yes, you can actually pick both ground form Pokemon, but people were very prepared for this because Ho-Oh was actually one of the top used Pokemon, and I think that is because they want to counter or keep these Pokemon in check. The top usage just made a lot of sense because a lot of these Pokemon are also really good in Go Battle League. They're also really good in Show 6. Palkia Origin at 70% usage. Really good neutral play except into Fairy-type Pokemon, but also keeps like Primal Pokemon in check and has play into Pokemon like Mega Scissor. The Kyurem also had a really high usage, I think because they most Master League players have those. Plus they are super versatile, and they don't always get banned because, in my opinion, they're not too overpowered because they don't have a lot of bulk. I must say though, Kyurem Black with its versatility to beat either fairies and or dragons is actually pretty insane, but it was always bannable. Now do keep in mind as well that it was closed moveset, so you could TM before a matchup, and it makes a Pokemon like Kyurem Black an excellent choice, because if you were weak to fairies, you just put Shadow Claw on it and you beat most of them, and if you were weak or not so weak into fairies, you could put Dragon Tail and you beat most other dragons not named Dialga. Do not be surprised by the Florges at 33%. Yes, most of these are 4000/5000 CP. Florges is actually one of the, if not the best fairy-type Pokemon in the Master League meta. Because it's just fast. Fairy Wind's been buffed a couple seasons ago. Pairs excellent with Moonblast. Trailblaze, great coverage into water types like Kyogre, and also into Rhyperior, of course. So the meta just really makes a lot of sense. Before getting into the battles, just briefly how I try to visualize this Show 8 Protect 2 Ban 2 format. In the blue box, these 6 Pokemon are available for the trainer to use. When they're colored green, it means they had protected them as well, so they couldn't be banned in the first place. And in the red side box, those Pokemon are banned, they cannot be used. Let's see how that went in game number 1. My first opponent, Curdywordy, is the only one who didn't ban Primal Groudon, and you will definitely see some of that match how it goes. He protected double water, and I think his plan into that was, okay, I have 2 water types that should be able to counter Primal Groudon well. He instead banned my Zamazenta and Origin Palkia, I think to give his own Origin Palkia and Kyogre as much play as possible. Of course, Zamazenta is not that great into Kyogre, but definitely pretty good into Palkia. Now, I protected my own Zacian because his Yveltal otherwise would be quite unchecked, and Necrozma has a lot of good neutral play. If he didn't protect the Landorus, then I think I would have been very fine. Honestly, I always expect my opponents to ban Primal Groudon and Zamazenta, so let's see. Primal Groudon into Kyogre, this is exactly where I don't want it. I'm gonna safe switch into my Zacian since he doesn't really have much other answers than the Necrozma, but Necrozma is hard to play when I have a freaking Primal Groudon. In comes Shadow Claw, Black Kyurem, and that is what I was talking about. This Dragon-type Pokemon is actually his counter to Fairy-type Pokemon, so I'm gonna live this Fusion Bolt if it is, otherwise Freeze Burn, well, Freeze Shock, sorry, it's Ice Burn, Freeze Shock. Freeze Shock definitely knocks me out, and now I have Dragon Tail on this Primal Groudon, and the stat product on this Pokemon is absolutely ridiculous, so I can live this move. Not a lot of Pokemon can take a free shock. Primal Groudon is one of them. Comes in with the Kyogre hard swap, knowing that I don't have a Palkia anymore, so Kyogre is quite safe into me. But I have an Yveltal with his shield up, and I kind of expect his own Palkia in the back. I think there may be some play here, because Kyogre is so slow in the spacing, and with Sucker Punch, Yveltal is a very solid pick. Not so much in Go Battle League anymore because of all the Fairy-type Pokemon, but in Show 6 it can hang on a little bit better. This Kyogre barely won't get to another charge stack, and at this point, I think I will be able to get 2 charge stacks into that Palkia. So it might come down to a catch. Oblivion Wing might put this into Sucker Punch and Dragon Tail downrange, so my opponent shields it. I swap in my Primal Ground. I'm really patient there. They try to catch that Precipice Blade. Look at this. Look at this. This is the same type attack bonus. Huge attack. Boom! By Palkia. This is why you ban Primal Groudon, even if you have 5 Water-type Pokemon. Trust me, it otherwise is unstoppable. I won this match by 3-0. In the second match, my Primal Groudon was also led into Kyogre. My next opponent is Jose Phoenix, and this actually looked to be a troublesome match because I saw the Mega Gyarados and I was like, wait, can I even ban that? Luckily, I can. So Mega Gyarados goes away, and then I banned their Kyurem Black because it protected Palkia and Zacian, so my Kyogre would be basically steamrolling 4 out of 6 Pokemon. And I think that's also why he protected that Palkia and Zacian. I protected Yveltal because it is very safe into his team, and I just wanted to use a safe Pokemon at the very least. Let's take a look at how this goes. Zacian into Landorus. This is a positive match for Landorus, so I kind of want to catch a Sandsear Storm on my Landorus. As you can see, this is the classic ABB strategy. They throw immediately at 6. This actually would have been a perfect catch opportunity. Gonna store a player of then swap to my own Landorus. In comes the Palkia, and it's just beautiful like that, because that probably means he either has a team A be a weak to the Kyogre with the Landorus lead, maybe a Ho-Oh, Rhyperior, Metagross in the back, or it's going to be Zacian, and if I can like leverage shields, I think it will be actually quite fine in this match. I also still have a player of Stored, of course, on my own. Zacian, I'm going to go for a Sandsear Storm, which is going to debuff this Palkia. A Stone Edge, I believe, would knock out for sure. Sandsear Storm may barely not have. Luckily, they shield there. Do I shield here? No, I don't. I don't take this Akuto here. I'm gonna go into my Zacian again. I have a lot of energy. They swap into Landorus, which is a grave mistake, because this allows my Shundo Kyogre to come in, and I cannot waterfall this down though, not before they get to another charge stack, but I think at this point it might not even matter. Actually, I think they go for Sandsear Storm. They went for Stone Edge. Go for Stone Edge, no, go for Sandsear Storm. They went for Sandsear Storm. I think I would have been in big trouble there. Sorry, Stone Edge, they probably would have knocked me out. They come back in with the Palkia. I have Thunder on this Kyogre, so it will hit for neutral damage, which might barely knock out after 2 debuffs. It won't, but 1 Waterfall will. In the back is indeed the Zacian. My timer's up. I have so much energy stored, and at this point, this match kind of looks unlosable. I think even if they let me took out their Palkia instead of hard swapping, then I probably would have also kind of won the match, because I would have had energy for the Landorus as well, which had no energy. Or not as much energy. Another wild charge, and then I show up base. I have the next one ready as well. And the wild charge from here will definitely knock out. This is not the ground form, it's only a regular Zacian, and those can be protected. My main fairy type to go. Honestly, I think Florges may have been a better fairy type Pokemon, as it just deals consistent fairy type damage, but Zacian is sometimes nice with wild charge and close combat. I won this match by 3-0 as well. Cypherline is my third matchup, and he actually brought a core that gave me a lot of trouble throughout this tournament, which is the Origin Palkia plus Mega Scissor core, a really annoying core to deal with. However, he threw me a bone here, because I have only 1 core break to that, and that is Crowned Form Zamazenta. And Zamazenta, with the fighting and steel typing, resists everything from this Mega Scissor. Plus with Ice Fang, it's really solid into Origin Palkia as well. So it makes for an excellent core breaker there. In fact, he kind of needs to bring the Ho-Oh, because I also banned the Rhyperior. Kyogre is not that bad of a match. Not an exactly winnable one, but not unplayable either. I got rid of the, what's it called? The Xerneas. That was also for my Palkia, kind of. And yeah, Kyurem, great that it has Shadow Claw, makes it weaker into my own Palkia. So let's see how this is going to go. He has no Fairy type Pokemon, so makes Palkia extremely safe for me. I'm leading it into the Kyurem. I'm expecting Shadow Claw on this for my Zamazenta. He swaps into the Palkia. I have Zamazenta for this. And this is such a clean match for Zamazenta. You can really decide yourself how you want to play this out. You can play the 2 shields, which is extremely close. Zamazenta would win that. But I like to play the 0 to 1 or 0 to 2 shields. So build up to 2 close combat, throw both of them. If Palkia wants switch, they'll shield it twice. That's fine with me. If they don't care for switch, then I will almost come out with another close combat here, or a Behemoth Bash, which will be super effective both on the Kyurem if that comes in. So my opponent is in a ridiculously bad spot here. I believe they even got the Nighty Shadow Claw there. Not that I mind too much. I'm going to swap out immediately because Palkia is unchecked. He really only has a Scissor, and if that's in the back, like, I'm fine with that. Shadow Claw Kyurem is still kind of good into Yveltal, so switch might be a little bit relevant there, but because a Scissor could be otherwise troublesome, especially when it gets a shield, not too happy with that, so I'm gonna go for 2 Aquatil there. Scissor is very much leaning onto the resistance of steel typing, but it's generally quite fragile, so I'm not too worried about it. It's also Fury Cutter, by the way. Zamazenta also double resists Bug, so that's nice. Gonna swap into Yveltal now. And he has Trailblaze. I'm kind of expecting X-Scissor here, because I know that Kyurem doesn't get to another charge deck, and it is X-Scissor. That's a great shield there. Gonna go for the Oblivion Wing. This will knock out the Kyurem. And X-Scissor probably would have knocked out, but it would have done a lot of damage boosted and being neutral on my Yveltal. So it's gonna knock out the Kyurem, then the Scissor Yveltal. Pulling through there, I also won this match by 3-0. Chris Roach is someone I've played frequently over many formats. He's a really good player, so this is gonna be a tough one. Luckily, I got pretty good bans protects here, because I got Yveltal as my protect. Zacian is probably going to be pretty obvious, because it's my main Salamence counter. It still loses to Salamence, by the way. Mega Salamence it is. And he protected Necrozma Dawnwings. And that has a ridiculously bad matchup into Yveltal. So I kind of have an edge there. I actually banned Kyurem and Palkia instead of Zacian to entirely free up my Yveltal, because I feel like Yveltal is gonna struggle into Salamence either way, and he otherwise could tackle Yveltal with like Palkia or Kyurem White. So from here on, Zamazenta and Primal Groudon are always going to be banned. We're going to lead Palkia into Necrozma. This is annoying, because I thought he wouldn't play this Pokemon, so there's no point in best buddying my Palkia. I think I best buddied my Landorus for the mirror. And if I best buddy this Palkia, I would hit a breakpoint with Dragon Breath, and then I would annihilate this Pokemon. He shields the Aquatail. I'm just curious. I'm gonna shields as well. It's probably a Dark Pulse bait either way, but I think I just want to win Switch regardless. It's probably gonna be the Salamence in the back. Keep in mind, Salamence learns Fire Blast, and I fully expect that from my opponent. I also expect a Zacian in the back as well to cover my Yveltal, because if he leads this, it has to be Yveltal counts in the back. In the back is indeed the Zacian. I swap my Landorus, bait out the Mega Salamence, but this is not great. This is really not great, and here's why. Because my Mud Shield damage does about nothing. So if he takes me out here, my Landorus did basically nothing. In fact, it's even going to farm me down. Mega Salamence is not like bulky, but it's bulky enough to take the Stone Edge here. It goes into the red, which is, I guess, fine for Chris Ross. He has so much energy. And now look at this. So I have Necrozma, which gets one-shot by Fire Blast. Fly knocks out my Palkia. I'm pretty screwed here, but I also throw the wrong move here, by the way. He throws immediately, and look at this. He expects the Necrozma to come in. It's a Fire Blast, double resistant. Almost knocks out the Palkia still. Luckily, he has no energy now, so that's great. Octo comes through. He hard swaps into Zacian. I have Necrozma with Sunsteel Strike. I built so many because every 15, 15, 14 went into a Necrozma Dusk form, and yeah, I still don't have a hundo, but that Sunsteel Strike takes out a million Zacian. Shadow Claws down this Salamence, and I won. I won this match by 2-1, but it came down to 2 rematches, which was very unfortunate. But in round number 5, I play against UXOT. He goes by the Pokémon GO. Good friend of mine, and that's what I'll call from here. I don't think I've played him in Master League before, though, and he banned my Zamazenta Groudon, protected his Palkia Scissor. Very annoying. I protected my Landorus to try and get in his head, hope that his Scissor would go for Buddha Punch, so my Necrozma and Palkia and Kyogre would get better, but he didn't fall for that, still runs Fury Cutter. Let's take a look how this goes. I have Fire Fang Zacian here, because I was hoping to catch the Scissor off guard, maybe. And now I lead into Palkia. I already revealed before. This is game number 3. I already revealed my Fire Fang Zacian. This is actually not a winning matchup. And even though I still win the 0 shield scenario, the Zacian with Fire Fang will lose the 1s and the 2 shields. So kind of obnoxious, because it just paces slower than Quick Attack does. There comes the Scissor. With Bullet Punch, it actually would have been a very fine match, but with the Fury Cutter, it just adds up. It just adds up way too much. And this is actually it's an okay match for Necrozma, but not in this position per se, where the Palkia has so much energy as well. And because he doesn't have Iron Head, my Zacian can farm down pretty comfortably here. In fact, my Zacian is an extremely hard counter to this, but it doesn't really matter. I get some energy back. He needs 2 Aquatail on the Zacian to knock me out with the Palkia, so it's nice, it doesn't really matter as much. He still needs 2 attacks. The last games he played Florges in the back, and if he's expecting my Palkia in the back, then it might be Florges again, and then we're kind of in trouble, because Florges is an actual Fairy-type Pokemon. Zacian is just everything. I tried to catch an Aquatail there. I was either that or I was afraid that I would get farmed down. Neither would be... well, catching an Aquatail would have been great. He has Lugia in the back, though, which is really unfortunate. A Florges also, of course, would have been very tough, because I wouldn't need 3 Aquatails. I'm gonna try to get to... I need like 3 Space Ren. It's just not possible. Lugia is way too bulky. Not really a Pokemon I'd expect in this format as well, especially with Zamazenta and Zacian halfway entering, but worked for him. In comes Pocket to farm me down, and even farms down my Zacian. So yes, I would have gonna farm down. I'm gonna try to let him get a shield kill here, and yay! It actually is a shield kill. I lost by 0-3 here, unfortunately, but we have one more round to go. Maybe we can get second place. My next opponent has both crowned Zamazenta and crowned Zacian, and I let them alive. He protected Landorus and Florges. I had to get rid of Mega Rayquaza, and also I banned Palkia to make my Necrozma a little bit better into both fairy types. I also have Landorus for Zamazenta and Zacian. However, if it's Ice Fang Zamazenta, then not really. But then I have Kyogre. And also, Fire Fang Zacian actually is better play here. As long as it's not on that Rhyperior, it will go pretty hard. And I would also prefer not to have it on Landorus, but I have Kyogre for those two, so that's pretty good. Now, another thing before getting into this battle, my blood was kind of boiling, and let this just be also a request that in Arena Legendaria, if you don't show up for 20 minutes, your opponent gets a no-show win, which is then a 1-0 score for me. He showed up 90 minutes after the time we were supposed to play and didn't even say sorry or anything. So I was very pissed going into this match. And yeah, I tend to play a little bit better when I'm pissed. When I'm pissed at the opponent, not at the game. When I'm pissed at the game, I play worse. Like when you're molding, everything just goes wrong. I lead into Crowned Form Zacian. Excellent, but you lose a 0 shields here because this thing has like a million attack and the Behemoth Blade will knock out Landorus. Cannot get kits anymore, so you take out the entire family as well. I'm definitely going to shield this one up so I can keep my Landorus alive. Even if it's like Zamazenta on the back, I'm still fine there. In comes that Zamazenta, which has Ice Fang. I'm going to go for the Sandseer Storm. All my HP is basically gone, so maybe not have been the smartest play. However, now this damage won't do as much. And I actually bring in the Zacian here, which I don't really like in hindsight, because it also has access to Behemoth Bash. Something important to know about these Pokemon, since it's debuffed, it doesn't do as much, luckily. But something important to know about these Pokemon, you cannot TM Behemoth Blade or Behemoth Bash off Zamazenta or Zacian. So they always have it. They're able to get the full fart on here, which is unfortunate, but shields are down. I have Origin Pulse on this Kyogre. And I'm not really sure what to expect in the back, but since I was expecting Florges because that's one of his Kyogre counters, but man, that Zacian would have been even better in the back. If I brought Kyogre into Zamazenta, they had no play. Genesect is really fragile though. My opponent hard swapped, so I just bring in my Landorus and he can't even do anything. He cannot swap out to farm down my Landorus or something else to keep the Technoblast here because that is an electric type. Sorry, an electric Technoblast Genesect. It doesn't matter. We get the Waterfall down. In comes Zacian again. I'm not in close combat range, so it doesn't matter. Waterfall down this Zacian. I'm one of a Surf, and they get to close combat. This is the same type of attack bonus, but Zamazenta is very defensive weighted, and it won't knock out. Kyogre, Big Fish, hangs on. Gonna wash this Zamazenta away, and I won this match as well by 3-0 because they may be angry. So I conclude by 5-1, but there's still... if you're curious who won this, I also have recordings from the Pokémon GO of his final match. The finals is between the Pokémon GO and Daga. Daga is a great Master League specialist from Sweden, and they both protected Mega Scizor and Reshiram, so we're going to see a lot of those two Pokemon. Of course, Genesect from Daga's side can be played with any Technoblast, and he also has the more expensive picks of Zygarde and Meloetta. Curious to see how this is going to go. We have that Scizor into Reshiram. It's Bullet Punch with Night Slash and Trailblaze. Banking the attack, then swapping into Reshiram. Reshiram has access to Stone Edge, and I believe that Daga might be here now. That would almost one-shot Reshiram, but it's a Fusion Flare beta. I wonder if Pokemon GO knew, or if he just called it. In comes Genesect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an answer, even remotely, to Reshiram. If I'm not mistaken, I see the burn drive on it, which means this has only resisted charge attacks lightly. This Magna Bomb will not knock out. It looks like, realizing it is in the Magna Bomb, now Pokemon GO doesn't shield that. Yeah, this is really curious what's going on. I think Pokemon GO is kind of in a good spot now, after having that terrible lead there. Either getting shields down or getting switch advantage. You get some more Dragon damage if Reshiram comes in. It does come in. And now you can soak up any damage on Lugia, because Lugia is so bulky. It's like Zygarde bulky. It's crazy to kind of have that I'm kind of mentioning that, because Lugia came before Zygarde, but I feel like Lugia has just not been part of any meta at all lately. Stone Edge, it does have it. In comes Mega Scizor. Trying... Oh no, he goes for the... I thought it was going to be a catch attempt, considering where Pokemon was tapping, kind of, but going for the fly. Right before a potential Night Slash. And now you have some energy on your own. I think that the Pokemon might be okay here. I wonder if this is going to be boost dependent, because Night Slash don't do a lot there. We don't have Sound, and that was a charge security tie, so we don't see it actually. But I think that... Did he get a... Oh, we get a little bit of stutter there. Yeah, I mean, it would be PvP if it was working well. This is going to get really close, actually. I'm pretty sure that Daga boost and the catch! Oh no! Oh man, everything's going wrong for Pokemon. I think. Oh, can you get the farm down here? Hold up. Let him cook. But I mean, you don't knock out with this. I'm actually surprised Daga swapped out with the boost there. But hey, that works. Like, Nice wouldn't have knocked out regardless. Going into Lugia, but there's already energy on the Scissor from Daga, and I believe you get the Bullet Punch down here. So Pokemon goes going down by 0 to 1. Barely not able to get to the Night Slash there. Very well played from Daga. Bold call by Pokemon on the Stone Edge bait. I don't know if he realized. In game number 2, we've seen Bullet Punch on both Scissor, and we've seen Dragon Breath on Reshiram, making it a so-so of a counter. It's Primarina into... Wait, that's Waterfall, by the way. Good to know. In comes Scissor, and now swapping a little bit late into the Reshiram, which is interesting. I've played this matchup before Bullet Punch buff as the Reshiram. I didn't like this because Scissor in 2-shoot scenario just paces much quicker. Even though Nice Size doesn't output a lot of damage and Bullet Punch or Fury Cutter are both resisted, they still kind of add up. And going for a crunch, which is kind of insane, but perhaps expecting the shield and hope for a defense drop. Doesn't get it though. It's only 20% chance now, and Daga not taking any chance on taking another one. I think this Reshiram would have gotten to another attack here, so perhaps a bold or a good call there. Let's see, because I'm curious if it's going to be that Genesect again, and we've seen Genesect with the Burn Drive from Daga, and that means that the Primarina kind of walls that, but it also has Magnet Bomb, so that is neutral. It's going to be a weird endgame, kind of. We know Reshiram is there. Let's see, in comes Primarina again, and in the back is a Kyurem trying to catch a Hydro Cannon, but this is Waterfall, keep that in mind. This is not Charm. Charm may have been a little bit more tricky here. Disarming Voice does good damage there. This is Dragon Tail Kyurem. Daga went really bold against a Primarina lead, and he didn't exactly face what he wanted, but if it was Charmed, it actually would have been much worse, because you just get Charmed down here. Because Kyurem is quite fragile, it's all going to chunk a little bit still, so that's nice. Fusion Bolt comes in, going to shield that up. I think at this point, the timer is up for Daga, so we do see the switch there. Reshiram comes in, going for the Hydro Cannon. Yes, it's a Dragon-type Pokemon, but also a Fire-type Pokemon. So this for neutral. There's like 3 Bullet Punch, I believe. Yeah, 3 Bullet Punches. Oh, this is gonna get close, because there's no shields anymore on either side. So this Scissor goes down to 1 Fusion Flare, but Bullet Punch just did way too much damage. I think that this Primarina waterfalls down everything at this point. Fusion Flare comes through. 1 Waterfall takes it out. And I believe Kyurem has almost no health. Doesn't get to the Fusion Bolt, and that's a good game. If Kyurem had Shadow Claw, may have gone to multiple Charge Attacks here and won the battle. Alright, so the score is 1-1, and we don't know which order these battles are played, because Pokemon is one of those people who keeps the clock at 9:41. Scissor leads great. In comes Reshiram, and it looks like that Pokemon this time has all the answers that he's looking for. He has Lugia for this Reshiram. Super effective Dragon Tail adds up, and it's still just going to hit hard, but Lugia doesn't need shields. And in fact, if shields are being used, I think Pokemon is super fine with having his own Scissor with a shield advantage. Light comes through. Let's go. I like that play from Daga. I'm going to come in with a lot of energy. You can take this Fly. I would take this Fly because Fusion Flare does way more. Fly is not being shielded. Smart play by Daga. Now has a lot of energy. Throw into this Reshiram. We get denied a Dragon Breath. Suboptimal for Pokemon Go. Imagine it works. Let's see. Still staying in. Going for more chip damage. We've seen Scissor and Reshiram every time from both players. What's going to be the third? Genesect? Still staying in. Still staying in. It's got to be Genesect, right? It's got to be Genesect. Maybe Kyurem again? No shield. It is Genesect. And this time we have Scissor aligned to it. Remember, this is a Burn Drive Genesect. So this is Reshiram double Bug Steel. And the Burn Drive, the Technoblast Fire will definitely one-shot this Scissor. I would expect a bait here. And there we see the resisted bait. Magnet Bomb is only 5 energy less, though, than Fusion Flash. I'm not sure if that's going to save you. 2 Night Slash are going to add up so much. And then you still have to take out... Like, this Bullet Punch damage already does so much. I think you just double shield as Pokemon Go and just get the fast stack down otherwise. That is a Technoblast Fire. It doesn't even matter. Going for Night Slash here. I wouldn't be surprised if Daga lets us go because it's kind of just over. Shields it up though. Wants to take out this this Scissor here, hoping that maybe there will be a mistake from Pokemon Go, but he didn't. And yeah, he wins the whole thing. So congratulations to Pokemon Go, and thank you for sharing this with us. If you liked all of this, you can also participate in these kind of themed formats hosted by Arena Legendaria. I'll drop the link to their Discord in the description, and perhaps there's a great Ultra or Master League format that you also like to play in. Yeah, this is not from Arena Legendaria. I even have a silver one, by the way, so just grab gold. No, I'll be pushing again in the Go Championship circuit from next week on to get some championship points ahead of time to qualify for the 2026 World Championships and also the Travel Award for the International Championships. If you'd like to see that, make sure to tune in the video of next time as well. And if you like this one, drop a like and a subscribe. See you next one.